So welcome back. Typically, I would not do a video like this, but I find this one so interesting and the product so interesting, at least for me. I think some of y'all will as well. We're gonna do an install and test video on, believe it or not, floodlights. So as y'all can see, I'm out here in our outdoor kitchen, our entertaining space that we just built onto the house. Awesome series on the channel, by the way, go check it out. And we run 2 floodlights out here, and we use this space literally every single night. And I'm finding it highly inconvenient for the floodlights that we have. So I wired in plugs, actual receptacle plugs to each corner of the house, and those floodlights are on a switch. I actually have them on a time switch. I also have bug zappers up there, so I'm finding it very inconvenient to want to cut the lights off when we're out in the yard, having fires, entertaining, because they're kicking off and on, but we want to keep our bug lights going. So I had no idea they make smart floodlights. Should have known. Just about everything in the world seems to be made nowadays. So I'm actually more excited than I should be about floodlights. So if you're like me and you have an area to where you want much more control of a floodlight than you typically get with all the ones you buy at the big box stores, you're gonna wanna watch this. Actual Bluetooth app controlled Bluetooth mesh system. These lights can communicate with each other. Multiple lights can. All this from a company called SOLLA. So this looks pretty straightforward. We'll do some testing, some night testing, a few other things in this. So this looks pretty straightforward. It comes with a wall mounting plate. You'll actually connect your wires in here. Looks like the light plugs directly into that. These lights fold out. Now here's where things start getting really cool. You have all kinds of different modes here on the side. So it's all push button controlled. You have distance 20, 40, it claims up to 72 foot. You have your modes, your motion activated mode, your daylight to dusk if you always want this to stay on and trigger at nighttime only, a test mode, how long you want the light to stay on, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, light brightness. That's already quite a bit of control right there from this unit. By the way, here's your front mounted motion sensor. So these lights, I like that too. Can go all different directions. But here's where it gets really cool. I had no idea this even existed. So you can download the SOLLA app and actually do even more controls than you've seen right here on the side from your phone. I'm really curious to see if now when we're out here entertaining, Tiffany and I, you know, it just got dark, we're out by the fire and the lights are kicking on, it's getting aggravating. How awesome would it be if I can pull my phone out of my pocket, control these lights, and the fact that you can put these all around your house and have them communicate with each other via Bluetooth. So if one light triggers, you can have it set up to where it triggers all the other lights on at the same time. So if you're really worried about someone being in your yard, animals being in your yard, you can set this up to do that. This even has a strobe light function, so if you really want to scare something off. I didn't realize you could get so much stuff in a floodlight. So here is my current floodlight setup, your typical floodlights with small adjustments on the bottom for basic things like delay. And my biggest complaint with these by far is you have to literally climb up here on a ladder or a scaffold to adjust these if you want them always on, always off, or motion. So at nighttime, if we hear something out in the yard and we want to turn these on, all we can do is flip the light back off and on. These will stay lit up for just a few seconds and they go off. We cannot permanently turn them on by a switch unless you adjust it up here. But that's not the way that we always want floodlights to stay on. We like for them to work off of motion. And this mounts perfectly to your typical round enclosure box. It also comes with extra brackets in case the screws don't line up on the particular box that you have. All right, so your white goes to the connection labeled neutral. Very straightforward. Ground to ground. Then your black wire goes to the L or line. Double check all your connections. My wire is just a little too short to go in there any further, but it's definitely making a good connection. Make sure you get your gasketed seal where it needs to be. And I'm gonna take this bolt out so we can install our light. Light plugs right in. my little rubber cap in, and that is it. That is absolutely it. And because we can connect to this with an app, we don't have to go power the circuit back up and start playing with all these buttons up here off of a ladder. We can do it from our phone. So I'm gonna get these set up to kind of cover a wide variety of the yard. I like that too. All right, let me show y'all something. This is so cool. This is so cool. I've already been out here playing with this for just a minute. An absolutely flawless process. So I'm gonna show more of this tonight, but I just downloaded their app. It's called SOLLA Smart. You do have to press one button on the light in order to go into the first initial setup. So keep your ladder handy. Here's the cool thing. I pressed it on this light only, found it in the app via Bluetooth, very easy to do, and it automatically connected to the other light too. So I never even had to carry my scaffold over there. So you can go right in this app. There is so much more here than I ever realized. Now I can control these lights. I can turn on a strobe mode. I can turn on, you know, just always on, which I love. That's a feature that's so overlooked by outside motion lights, to be able to just turn it on because you hear something. You don't want to wait for motion to run in front of it to kick it on. A lot of lights, it's just you do one setting only, or you got to climb back up or to change your settings. I hate that. This does more than I ever realized. You can turn the brightness up and down. You can change the color of the lights, the color temperature. I had no idea these lights could do all this. Everything now is controlled from my phone. Time settings, when you want it to turn off, when you want it to turn on, how long do you want it to stay on. There is more in this app than I ever realized. And I turned on one quick little group button in here, and these two lights just automatically group together. So now no matter what setting I change in here, for example, you're looking behind me, just turned the light on up there, didn't I? Look, that one's on right from a push a button on my phone. Now they communicate together. And because these communicate now, if one picks up, say, an animal walking across the yard, they'll both turn on. So really light the yard up. I like that. Or if somebody's walking around your house. So I can put two more on all four corners of my house and light the entire space up. They all communicate together and control each other. That is awesome. Check this out. Look behind me again. Off. Straight from my phone. Oh, all right. I'm gonna meet y'all back here at nighttime. I'm gonna play with this app a little more. See y'all back in a few hours. Let's see how well this lights up the yard and kind of go through some of these functions. All right, so as y'all can see, it is pitch black dark. I have my flashlight going. We have power up to the circuits where the lights are. And I'm gonna show you this. I've been playing with this for just a little bit. This is awesome. Now these GoPros do not pick up light very well at nighttime, but it's what I have to tote around. And typically when you first log in, it takes it just a second. You got to have Bluetooth and a couple of things on. It'll tell you, and it'll communicate with the lights in just a few seconds. So as you can see, here's some options that I have. There's an energy saver mode, and this is nice because it has an off and on button on it. I like that, but it only turns the lights up to 50%. There's an auto mode, which you set once you go in to your settings. That kicks your lights on, by the way. And then you can adjust the distance you want it to trigger, how long you want the light to stay on, the color of the lights. That's so cool. And you can turn the brightness up and down. You also have like a dark to dark mode, so it senses whenever it's dark outside and can set up that way. You have a strobe mode, and there is a strobe button right here that you can press if you just want to scare something off. That's kind of a neat feature. If you have deer eating your flowers, or a cat or a dog in your yard that you don't want, you can instantly turn on a strobe feature. And there's a test mode if you want to test it. Okay, so here we are out here. You can see I have a fire lit. I mean, it just doesn't get any darker than this. I'm going to go down to my phone, and we'll just go to auto mode and go in it. As soon as I click on the settings button, it'll kick on. So check that out. This little camera does not do it justice, but look, they both kicked on at the same time because I have them grouped together, and they're covering a good area. What this little camera doesn't show you is I can see all the way over to my shop. I can see an oak tree that's about 70 yards away right here. I can see really, really well. So these little sensors in these tiny cameras right here don't pick up all the light. Plus, don't forget, I have lights facing that way, this way, this way. If you point them all in the same direction, well, you'll get triple the light on what you want to focus on. But this is more than enough light to actually, you know, see what's going on out here. So here's the cool thing. I can go back in this. I know it's washed out, and I can change the color. Look at the lights. You can go all the way down to like your typical incandescent color. And I can go all the way up to a bright white light. I kind of like it somewhere right in the middle, right there. And that's the brightest too. I can also swipe right here and turn the brightness down on the light. So if you kind of want some mood lighting out here, that's pretty awesome. I love it. Turn it right back up. That is so cool. And here's that crazy strobe function. If you want to scare off an animal or somebody out of the yard, that's neat. And the little energy saver. This one's nice and quick and easy. Like I said, it keeps the light at 50%, but if you just want a quick on off button, you can just bump both the lights off and on by the flick of a button. I love, love, love this. So with that said, I guess we're going to wrap this video up. Hopefully you can see me out here in the dark with this little GoPro. What awesome ability that this has. And here's the cool thing. If you're not into the app, which that's kind of the reason to buy these, so you get so much extra control. But if say something happens to the app or you just don't want to use it, you still have all of these buttons on the side of the lights themselves to give you tons of control, although the app will give you far more control. Now the link's down in the description. Here's the crazy part, y'all. These lights really aren't any more money than your traditional floodlight. I can't believe how cheap they are. I feel like they should be double, honestly. And I am genuinely excited about this. It's so nice for us to be out here and kick on some lighting if we heard something, literally with the phone that's always in our pocket playing music. Turn the lighting down if we want some mood lighting. Just full control. I've never had that with floodlights. That's always driven me crazy. Just drove me crazy that you literally have to get a ladder out and climb up there. I no longer have to do that. I can see what goes bump in the night by flipping the phone on. It's just such an awesome, neat feature to have. Smart floodlights. Who would have ever thought? And it's something I love. I can promise you, I'm getting 2 more for the other corners of the house. Why not? All right, thank you so much, SOLLA, for sending these out. I love the lights. I really do. I'm going to be recommending them. Links down in the description, and I'm also going to stick these in our Amazon store. So if you're watching this in the future and for some reason the link doesn't work, just click on our Amazon store. There's another link down there for that, and I'm going to put them in there. Anytime I find a product like this that I really like, that's perfect for the house and just kind of what our channel's about, I always go stick in our Amazon store so you can refer to it back in the future. Thank y'all so much for watching. Catch you on the next video.